Hey chat, welcome in. It's me, Pigeon Wishes, your resident Pigeon Fae from the UK. And today, we're playing more Methods, the detective competition. Honestly, I said this last time, but I'm not over how good this fucking music is. The music fucking slaps, and I'm not over it. I'm not going to get over it. Hi Mort, hi Mura, hi Sarul, welcome in. I'm doing good today. I'm chilling. I ordered Pizza Hut. Not Pizza Hut. Why do I always say Pizza Hut? I ordered Domino's. So I've got the Domino's cream egg cookies next to me right now. So that's the stream munchings for today. That's my stream offerings for me. Is the Domino's cream egg cookies. Yesterday, fucking hell, we were off our shits. I need to go back and clip so much of that stream. But we were off our shits during Repo yesterday, holy shit. It was so funny. It was so funny playing with Irina for the first time. That was so good. Oh, you became my minion! Holy shit, Mura, you're my minion now. Mura, you're not my minion. Let me give you the thing. No, I'm not trying to mod you. Why no? Why is it? Why is this not an easy option? Huh. Why is this not an easy option? This should be something I should easily be able to do. This should be something I should be able to do. Let me... Community. Roles manager. Add new. Murakan. The stream jumper. VIP. Done. Done. I did it. That took me too long, but I did it. We did it. Debbie's chat was fucking off their shits yesterday, but then the rest of us all were as well, because I fully admit that I was making just as bad a jokes. I was making just as terrible a jokes as Debbie's chat was, so I have no shame. It was so fucking funny. God, yesterday was just fun. I was saying after stream that I just missed playing with people. I don't do a lot of collabs because the kind of content I make just doesn't really work for collabs. I'm like a chill solo streamer most of the time, but like, it is nice just to occasionally like play with some other people for a bit. Enrichment for your pigeon. Hi Junie. Hi Junie. We're talking about how fucking crazy yesterday's stream was and how fucking funny it is. How absolutely fucking off our shits we were. Like... yeah, no, Debbie's chat are crazy. Debbie's chat are insane, but I love that for them. Debbie's chat are insane, but I love that for them. I was just as bad. When I go back and look at the VOD, I said some just as bad, if not worse, things. God, it was so fucking funny. It was so nice just to play with people again. It was just nice. I had fun. Good pigeon enrichment time. Good pigeon enrichment time. Oh no! Why is Junie in ads? Huh? Junie should not be getting ads. Right now. It's not time for ads. You returned from ads. I was confused why you were in ads, because you shouldn't have been getting ads. Twitch. Squints. 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 Twitch. Twitch. Squints. I'm silly. Today I'm silly, and that's good, because the game we're playing is also very silly. Their Plato's caving her. Oh no! Oh god, I need to bring chat back. People need to see what you guys are up to. Because you're being very funny. I got rid of chat from the screen because I thought that it was in the way. But no, chat's being too funny, they need to come back. Chat's being too funny, you need to come back. There we go, we're back. We're back and hopefully it's not broken. It took me a while to navigate us to the hotel. It wasn't because I couldn't figure out the map, I was just unfamiliar with the area. Oh, chat is working! Nice, nice, nice! Now you're on stream, so that people can see how fucking funny you are being today, because you guys are being especially funny today. Cozy looking building awaited us. A sign outside read, Quail Hotel. And what awaited us was the second stage of the mysterious detective competition. The hotel had a distinctly old-fashioned vibe, but it was comfortable kind of old-fashioned. How bad is this lagging? This is lagging quite badly with my model. I may turn down smoothing significantly. Turning down smoothing significantly. There we go. Fixed. That was our scuff for today, hopefully. There was a desk for a receptionist, but nobody was there. A crowd of detectives was gathered in the lounge area with couches and a piano. Oh, the VODs should be up, so if people want to go and clip stuff from yesterday. I always keep my VODs up for the full amount of time I'm allowed to. I hardly ever delete VODs unless it's something weird happens. 775 nudged me. That's Detective 6. The detective ranked second. Yeah. He's pretty cool. He knows how to fold napkins. What about his skills as a detective? Okay, chat, you've had your time on screen. I actually think that you're taking too much of the screen up. I feel bad, but I am deleting chat again. I'm still working it out. I'm still working out what I want to do with chat box. Whether I should just have you guys on screen for the just chatting sections. And then turn you guys off for, like, gameplay. I'll try that out. Because while you guys are fucking hilarious, I do feel like it maybe takes up too much of the screen. With me here as well. Yeah, it's our favourite absolutely fucking insane clown detective. Also, he's new. Are you talking about me behind my back again, clown boy? Stop calling me clown boy. I'm a clown guy. Right, yeah. How's he treating you now? Saw the video. There was no need to do a headstand. That's what I thought. Headstands are a fine exercise for strapping young gents. Simply capital. Alright, whatever. Is that a piano? Could be a harpsichord. Those cunning harpsichords, always disguising themselves as a piano. Harpsichord has 2 sets of keys, detective. Let me have those ivories and I'll bang out a fantastic tune. Please do. I'd love to hear some Chopin. Chopin. Sure, I know a little nocturne. A wahana. A wahaha. That's fucking good. That's a good... There's a name for that, but I can't remember what it is. Where there's like a fake brand that sounds like a real brand. In like games and movies. I can't remember what that's called, but wahaha is very good. That's a good one. Tasty num-nums. I also love harpsichord. I considered making... So in D&D, you're allowed to have an instrument. Each character's allowed to have like an instrument that they have proficiency playing. And Rhee's instrument, I did consider harpsichord. I considered harpsichord. I also considered one of those, like, what's the ones where it's like a weird mix of a piano and a harp. Like the weird piano harp combination. Why can't I remember what that instrument is called? But I considered one of those as well. I was trying to think of what would be a weird instrument. Weird fae-like instrument. He sat at the piano and cracked his knuckles. But when he pressed down on the keys, no sound came out. The keys that work are C, F sharp, and A. He played them, one after the other. I recognised the melody. We all did. The Game Master's announcement tune. That's right, contestants. It's my favourite song. Was he summoned by the melody? Weird. Welcome to the second stage of the contest. Every detective who did not get to the hotel would have been eliminated. But shockingly, you're all here. Junie, you're correct. It is a Waluigi Yamaha. A Wahaha. A Wahaha. I can't do a Waluigi impression. Chat, we're gonna forget that I made that noise. Chat, we're gonna forget that I made that noise. That was bad. I heard myself while I was doing it and I was like, oh fuck, this is bad actually. Actually, as I was actively doing that, I was like, actually that was bad. I should not do that. I thought I could catch you out, but here we are. It's a bit of a disappointment, honestly. Don't worry, the contest will resume. Today, you should all sleep in the provided rooms. I looked at 775 for his reaction. I didn't induce this. Well, I'm glad you admitted. If Haney hadn't given you that tip, you would have been eliminated. Speaking of Haney, she had appeared at the hotel desk and was handing keys to detectives. We were handed our keys. I got room 257. Detective 775 got 259. The detective pairs seemed to be deliberately put next to each other. We headed for the elevator. I pushed the button before 775 could get to it. He glowered for a moment, then motioned at the button box. Look at that panel. Looks like it slides. What do you mean? He pushed at the panel and slid it over, revealing a completely new set of elevator buttons. But these buttons were green. What do you make of that? They didn't hire a colour coordinator? The green half is probably the criminal side. He impressively pushed a green button. The elevator halted. I could hear the gears shifting and turning around us. With a jolt, the elevator started moving again. Sideways. What did you do now? Let's go meet the people who are making these mysteries. I have a few questions. I turned off my accusatory stare and sighed. Yeah, me too. But warn me next time. I will. Do my best not to. What a jerk. The doors opened with an ominous creak, and we stepped into the corridor that could only be accurately described as being trashy. any moment a criminal could walk out of a door. Was Oscar the Grouch the director? 775 didn't reply. Sorry. That was supposed to break the tension, but it didn't really work. Oh no, 775 100% would push every button on the elevator. But I don't think he would do it after he got to his floor. I think 775 would do it while he was in the elevator. 775 seems like the kind of bitch that would press every button on the elevator and then climb out of the ceiling hatch. Like, he seems like the kind of bitch that would just climb on out of the ceiling hatch for no fucking reason and then get the elevator, like, to stop. Because he's not supposed to be there. This bitch has no common sense. I joke, he's actually a very good detective. No, it didn't. I want to hear a joke about a fish. Okay. A fish walks into a bar and calls out to the bartender. He says, I'd like a glass of water with beer in it too. And that's all. The joke is that the fish puts emphasis on the water, even though he's really ordering a beer. People are always biased in one way or the other. That's an important lesson to learn. Sure, but I sort of wanted to hear a real joke. It had been a disappointing fish joke, but it had successfully broken the tension. Doesn't seem like anyone's around here. There'll be people down in the lobby. The lobby? We were just there. Not that lobby. There's more than one. That one was for detectives. The one we're going to is the one for criminals. There was a long flight of stairs at the end of the hallway. I suspected this much. The elevators don't go here. He hopped down the steps 3 at a time. We reached ground level. 775 looked through the glass of the lobby door, and then opened it. We were greeted with the sight of a room with the now familiar rundown aesthetic, and several criminals chatting by the receptionist desk, where somebody had placed a plate of cookies. It was an exact mirror of the detective lobby. Mort, what is your fish joke? Tell me a fish joke. Tell me a fish joke, funny man. And if I do not like your fish joke, I will Julius Caesar thumbs down execute you. Okay, that's an okay one. That one's okay. I'll give you that's like a 7. I'll give you a 7 for that one. That's not quite Julius Caesar thumbs down execution levels of bad. My fish can break dance, but only for 60 seconds, and only once. That one's alright. I'm more of a puns girly. Yeah, what if your fish is a mud skipper and they can break dance infinitely because they can breathe air? What if your fish is a mud skipper and they can walk and have little weird fish feet? Like a mud skipper. I've got a fish joke. Okay, that one's better. A fish was swimming up a dam when he hit a wall. Well, damn. My fish joke is, what do you call a prehistoric fish? A pre-fish. That one's a funny. A pre-fish. That one funny. No, it wasn't. I'm lying to you. That wasn't funny. It was in fact bad. I'm trying to think of another one. I have another fish joke, but I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, Junie knows the what do you call a fish with no eyes joke. She's already spoiled that one. What do you call a fish that wears a tie? What do you call a fish that wears a tie? Sophisticated. Yeah, this is true. Ginny's psychic, but only when it comes to puns. It's sadly she can never have jokes told to her. Okay, back to game. I'm done with fish puns. Mort, I know that joke. I've seen South Park. I'm not falling for the fish sticks joke. I've seen South Park. We get in a sticky situation. Just remember the fish and the beer. Not helpful. We approached a nearby criminal who was the largest human I'd ever seen. Rough past few rounds, huh? What voice am I gonna do for this guy? I've got to come up with 200 fucking voices, peeps. This is gonna be hard. I don't have 200 voices. Yeah, well, for some. But I've been a sixth since this thing began and I haven't given up yet. This is my partner, Lainey. I'm Karaini. Couldn't you have thought of a better naming convention than Amy? Anyway, what's your name? Can't you read my name tag? It's kind of high up. Oh yeah, true. It's Killer Soul. I almost laughed, but managed to stifle it. I know it's stupid. Everyone tells me so. What? No, it's really, really cool. Thanks. Well, it does kind of sound like a teenager thought of it. They're locked in now, so I can't change it. I'm just trying to be intimidating for the contest. You're plenty intimidating already without an edgy name. Aw, shucks. Say, what are you guys' code names? I'll look for you on the boards. I'm cool. I'm called Slaves. He was so bad with names. This is Four Eyes. Excuse me? See you around. He left, but not before shoving 2 cookies in his mouth. At once. Relatable content. I could try that now. I currently have 2 cookies. Here with me right now. But I won't. I could do it, but I won't. That's called not shoving 2 cookies in your mouth because you don't want to make bad noises on street. 775 made eyes at the doorway. We're probably pal around enough around here. Yeah. We left the lobby and went back up the stairs, and boarded the elevator, this time headed for the right floor. What a waste of time. No. It most certainly wasn't. The entire encounter was strange. It was one of the least threatening conversations I've ever had. Don't judge a book by its cover. I think you may end up judging Oreo by its packaging. That is not an expression. Oh yeah, context for the people who didn't see last stream. For some fucking reason, Clown Guy is obsessed with Oreos. He keeps making Oreo-based analogies. Like, he keeps making analogies about Oreos. We don't know why. We don't know why he's like this. Actually, we do know why he's like this. Both of his parents are clowns. Oh, really? Have you never had birthday-flavoured Oreo? Birthday-flavoured Oreos are fine. What is he about to say? It tastes like melted Oreo candles. No, they don't. Disgusting. No comment. I'm sorry, 775, but you're no longer my best friend. You can't be my best friend because you said that the birthday cake Oreos taste bad, when in fact I like the birthday cake Oreos. Unless I'm thinking of a different kind of Oreo. I'm thinking of the ones that are like, the cookie isn't a chocolate cookie, it's a normal vanilla cookie. and it's got like, and then the icing has sprinkles in it, like funfetti cake. Is that a separate thing? Is birthday cake Oreos and funfetti Oreos different? Am I thinking of two separate kinds of Oreo? Because I think I'm thinking of maybe funfetti Oreos, because those are good. Funfetti Oreos are good. I think they are different from my brain. Yeah, funfetti is a brand, but it's not a branded. It is Oreos I'm thinking of. It's not actually funfetti. Funfetti is just the best way to describe what I'm talking about. Where it's like sprinkles in the cookie. Cookie, but sprinkles in cookie. Sprinkles in cookie before bake. Sprinkles put in cookie before bake. Good. Sprinkle in cookie, good. I have reverted to caveman. Cookie sprinkle good. Cookie in sprinkle. Sprinkle in cookie. Cookie in oven. Sprinkle melt. In cookie in oven. Then good. Yes. What am I on? What's wrong with me today? I'm off my shits again. I think I still have some manic energy from yesterday. Anyway, the whole trip was worth it just for these. He flipped up his sleeves. Two cookies flew out of them. He handed one to me. No thanks, calories. Everything has calories. I'm trying to watch my weight. You have terrible taste in film. I let his bad joke go unremarked upon. The doors opened to an almost identical corridor, but this time, much cleaner. I opened the door to my room. Finally, I could relax. On one of the beds lay a boxed present for me from the Game Master. I opened it. There was nothing inside but a note that said, "It's the thought that counts." Puzzled, I went to bed. Chapter 13. The Mystery of the Martini Olive. Detective 775 and Detective Nell took a trip to the criminal side of the detective competition. Was it worth the risk? The complimentary room was nice. Reminded me of the first mystery I'd solved. Eternally checked in. Hi, Sile. How are you, hon? It's been a while. How are you? I read a paper on smoke inhalation the previous day, so that made it easier. Also, my partner had insisted on examining the dummy before anything else. Ooh, Pressure's getting an update. We should play. Sile, we talked about playing together, and then we didn't, because I didn't know when you were free. We should come up with a day and play together. Like, when you've got availability. Because we both play Pressure, so we should just play Pressure together. Yeah, because I'm free, like, every weekday except for Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, for any time. So, like, if you just give me times, I will make it happen. I've also never had a martini. I'm more of a, like, Sex on the Beach, or a Blue Lagoon, or, like, Purple Rain. Cocktails. I like cocktails. I like a daiquiri. I like a frozen daiquiri. Especially if they add mint. If they add mint to the frozen daiquiri, num 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 num. Passion fruit frozen daiquiri. Very yummy. Also, my partner is insisting on examining the dummy before anything else. Detective Sally. She was still in the contest, but much lower in the rankings. Things had happened pretty quickly for me. It was early in the morning, around 7. I'd slept in my clothes and my hair was all messed up. I thought about a shower, but there wasn't time, and I hated showers anyway. The water was always either too hot or too cold, or neither, just warm, but slightly hot. The Game Master's announcement tune soon played. Oh, thank you for coming in, Sile. Like, 6 a.m. Fucking hell. Have you not been to sleep yet? Dude, get some rest. That's like mega early. It's late for me. It's like 10:30, 8 p.m. for me. But like, if you've not slept yet, oh, you sleep at 10 a.m. Okay. Okay, as long as you're going to actually get some rest. That's fair enough. I understand weird sleep schedules. No, me too. I'm also very nocturnal. Chat knows that I'm nocturnal because of when I stream. And the fact that I work like a job that starts at fucking 4 a.m. on when I do work. Good morning. In case you were wondering, we own this entire hotel and have closed it from normal business today for the competition. Please step out into the hall now as the second stage is beginning. My hotel door unlocked by itself. Creepy. I walked out and locked the door behind me, like it mattered. Head down to the lobby where we'll make some general announcements. As I walked down the hall, Detective 775 came out of the room opposite mine. He was wearing extra big shoes today. He'd probably say the feet lead to the head, so if there's room to spare in the shoes, that means you'll have a clearer mind, or something even more obtuse, if I asked him why he was wearing them. So I kept my mouth shut. Let's play a game. Alright, I'm game. As always, he didn't laugh at my joke. I call it the induction game. What? Don't mix work with play. I'll say some fact that I made up, and you try and come up with the logical reasons for the fact to be true. The other detectives stepped out into the hall and headed for the lobby. Go ahead, I'm ready. The detective behind us uses drugs to solve crimes. Huh. I glanced at the detective, a short, pale man. He's a bit twitchy. I don't see any sign of twitchiness. Quite the opposite, actually. He looks perfectly calm. Was he going to nitpick every answer I gave him? I thought this was just a simple game. Fine. His long sleeves could be to conceal the marks of injection needles. That's pure conjecture. You're jumping to conclusions. Yeah, the game of yours kind of forces you to do that. Or maybe you're just a bad detective. Have you already forgotten about your method? You want me to go up to him and put my face 10 millimeters away from his? Huh. Because that's my method, 7-7 something. Why don't you just tell me what you're thinking? I can't possibly tell you what I'm thinking. Brain language is impossible to pronounce. I was on the edge of throwing my hands up and refusing to work with him ever again. But then, you know what, Nell? You're right. I've been a little hard on you. I forced you to do lots of things you didn't want to do, so I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah. So, like, you're making a good point. Lots of detectives in real life did use drugs. Especially Victorian times, because everyone was using lots of drugs. Sherlock Holmes, famously a crack addict. Not a joke. Sherlock Holmes, famously addicted to crack. Like, this is not a joke. This is something that Sherlock Holmes actually does in the books, frequently. He is a canonical drug addict in most of the media he's in. I think it depends on what version of the story you're reading, what he's addicted to. Let me look it up. What was Sherlock Holmes addicted to? Cocaine. He was addicted to cocaine. Although he also was addicted to morphine. He was addicted to both cocaine and morphine. So we're both correct, because morphine's an opiate. Isn't it? Unless I'm just spouting shit. Yeah, morphine is an opiate, so we're both correct. He's addicted to an opiate and he's addicted to crack. There we go. Yeah, he's addicted to both. Separately, he is also addicted to yaoi. Junie is correct. This is true, Junie. You're very good, Junie. Pat, pat, pat. Very good. Very good and correct. Very good and correct. Then true and real. No. No. So, Sherlock Holmes would be homophobic, but only towards Yuri. That's my headcanon. My headcanon is Sherlock Holmes would be homophobic, but only towards lesbians. It's like a cultural thing. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. He's all for yaoi because he's like into Watson and also other men in the books. But he would hate lesbians because he's a Victorian man. True fact. True Sherlock Holmes fact. That's my hot take. I'm allowed one per stream. I'm allowed one per stream, and this is my hot take. Sherlock Holmes would be a homophobe, but only towards lesbians. Because he hates women. Not because he actually cares if they sleep with each other, but it's just because he generally hates women in general. That's my hot take. He's a hypocrite. Because Sherlock Holmes is a hypocrite. He's a well-known hypocrite in the books. For like lots of things. He always goes on about people doing drugs, but then he's a massive drug addict. He goes on about people being pretentious rich snobs, but then he's a pretentious rich snob. So like, he's a huge hypocrite. It's part of one of his character flaws. Oh. Right, back to game. I'm stepping away from Druger's talk. Well, it's fine, I guess. Great. Look, he keeps his drugs right there in the brim of his hat. See? I felt pretty stupid for not catching that one. Wait, so this isn't just a game of yours? That's his real method? Yes. Detective Sess, also known as the Narcotic Detective. Basically, he creates drugs that claims to enhance the detective abilities. I don't care if it works or not, because however he does it, he's a competitor. He's in 5th now. That's not too far from us. I can hear you guys talking about me. We ignored him and continued down the stairs to the lobby. When we arrived, the detectives were all clustered near the bar, making a fuss about something. Haney was lying in the middle of the floor near the bar, with a wine glass spilled next to her and her hand clutching her throat. Oh my god, you okay? Hey, you guys tell me how I died, and the announcements will begin. We have to do what? Simple mystery for simple sleuths to solve. I recognised him right away. Detective Eastman. When I first arrived at the contest, he'd singled me out and began lecturing me about what a great detective he was. I was not a fan. It is extremely obvious to me that Haney has slipped on the banana peel, as is the classic joke. What an incredibly stupid way to die. No, that's not the solution. That was merely a joke, because of course the obvious answer to this easy mystery is you were poisoned. No, that's not the solution. Haha, you're narrowing down the possibilities for me. You don't even realize you're playing right into my hands. The real answer is to this extremely easy mystery is that you were stabbed. No, that's not the solution. Should the cops be talking? No, that's the answer. You're talking, so you never died in the first place. The mystery is that there is no mystery. There was a dreadful silence. No. Is this Red July or is this her partner? I'm trying to remember, because we haven't played in a couple days. Remember, there's someone who looks identical to Miss Red July. She's got a partner who's a master of disguise who looks identical to her, other than a few differences. I'm trying to remember if this is actually Red July or whether this is actually the partner. There was an expanding sponge hidden in the olive that came with your martini. When you drank it down, it expanded in your throat and you choked and died. You can tell it's a martini from the smell of what's spilled and the kind of glass it was served in. And the martini usually comes with an olive. There's a toothpick in the nearby trash can, I'm sure. Your hand is cupped around your throat in an odd way, hinting at obstruction, probably caused by an object. The question was then, how did you swallow something that size without realizing it? Because it wasn't big when you swallowed it. Easy. Now let's get on to the second stage. Yeah, you're right. There'll be an announcement soon. Feel free to have a drink from the bar where you wait. But I don't recommend the martini. Wink. Did you just say wink? Our boy, we don't know yet. He might still be in the competition, but I think that they're trying to get him out because they don't want him to win. I think he's a Danganronpa V3 kind of protagonist, where we were only playing him right at the beginning as a trick, and now we're playing as Nell. Hey Red, what the hell was that? You're a top-ranked detective. Don't you think you should let the less skilled detectives make a crack at it before you just blurted out the solution? I was becoming overwhelmed. My method has been causing me problems recently. What kind of problems? I'll explain later. Congratulations, detective. You solved the mini-mystery. That mystery was an example. There are 60 criminals currently in this competition. Each one of his or her mode of operation, which we call their modus. Like method for detectives. That's right, Slake's my charming boy. This mystery was quite obviously the work of a mastermind gag, a criminal who specializes in choking his victims. What an appropriate name he has. Well, it should be, because we've nicknamed all the criminals. They do not use their real names in the contest. In this next stage, I'm going to have criminals switch moduses in each round. You can't just solve the crime. You also have to tell me which criminal committed it. You'll be looking for clues that will reveal which criminal is pretending to be another. For instance, if Mastermind Sparks was pretending to be Mastermind Gag, when committing this crime he would have left the smell of smoke behind, or he might not have been able to resist his pyromaniac tendencies and set the martini on fire, since alcohol is, in fact, flammable. Get the idea? We'll begin soon anyway, so it doesn't matter. This'll be fun. By the way, I figured out why the criminals have nicknames. Oh, really? It's for our benefit. Being professional detectives, most of us, we might have grudges against particular criminals. In order to leave that behind at the entrance, so that they don't reveal the real names of criminals. It's like an Oreo. The cookies of grudge and bias are held back by the frosting of obliviousness. That's nice. I was only half listening through my irritation at having to suffer through another bad analogy about an Oreo. Slunch! I fucking love slunch! Slunch is such a good word. Mort, that's such a good word. That's such a good word. Sliders for lunch, or rather, slunch. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love doing shit like that. Slunch is very good. Slunch, snail lunch. No, that would be snunch. That would be snunch, would be snail lunch. Snunch. They're such good words. Any word that ends in unch is a good word. Unch words are superior. Did he work for the company or something? Take me to Snunch. Was this some sort of sponsorship? Why an Oreo? They weren't even good. SMH my head, what is with the Oreos slander today? What is with the Oreos slander? I like Oreos. I'm sad at the Oreos. I'm sad at the Oreos fucking slander. They haven't been good for decades. The second stage is now ready. Please go back to your rooms. Back to our rooms? Uh-oh. My worst fears have been confirmed. After climbing back up the stairs to the floor, me and 775 entered our rooms to find them set up like a mystery rooms with dummies and atmospheric flickering lights. Wondered why they gave us separate rooms initially. It would make sense for partners to share one room, but now I see why. I can think of a few reasons why sharing rooms wasn't ideal, but I didn't have time to argue about it. We need to focus on solving the mystery. These title cards for each chapter are so good. Chapter 14, The Nap with No End. Detective Nell and Detective 775 are about to tackle the first mystery in the Mysterious Detective Competition's second stage. I can't think of any more idioms I use right now because it's too off the top of my head, but I use a lot of them. I use a lot of idioms. Look on your hotel room side tables. There was an earpiece and a new kind of case file. This earpiece will help you communicate with your partner. You will both be in separate rooms. The two rooms are slightly different. One was prepared by the criminal with their usual mode of operation. The other was prepared by a different criminal, imitating the mode of the other. Spot the difference with your partner's help. This stage is called the mode of operation. That weren't already obvious. The mysteries are once again locked room mysteries. Sorry for the redundancy, but I find them so adorable. I put in the earpiece and immediately started gloating to 775. Ha! You were wrong about them switching the type of mystery this round. So I was wrong. Big deal. It happens. He was clearly offended and disappointed in himself. This mystery is called A Deadly Idea. The door was locked with an ordinary key from the inside when this crime was discovered. Take a look at the case file to see more details. Okay. Mr. Reads-A-Lot, an esteemed publisher, was found dead at 11 AM. The most likely suspect? Mr. Purple Prose, a terrible violent novelist who had been rejected 1,000 times by Mr. Reads-A-Lot. The room was locked from the inside when the crime was discovered and you do not have access to the autopsy report. Special bonus. Why did Mr. Reads-A-Lot reject Mr. Purple Nose so many times? The new suspects file has a selection of 5 criminals and their moduses. Use it to figure out who's impersonating whom. Killer Soul makes his victims look like they'd been killed by ghosts. He's a master at getting into locked rooms without leaving a trace. Drenda. Drenda always twists her victims into strange shapes after killing them. Ares kills her victims by ripping them into pieces. Bones kills her victims by breaking their bones. Filter kills his victims with noxious gas. He's an expert chemist. Use the mark button to indicate which criminals you think are responsible. The timer starts now. Now, come on, I need you to talk to me. Talk to me, please. It's been 6 seconds. Now, describe what's in your room. Okay. Had to get my bearings fast. This was going to be tricky. I don't think my room had a lamp in it before. Side table left of the bed. Yes. Definitely part of the mystery. Might be good use for the method of yours. Magnify. But with some weird residue on it. Smells strange. It's over here too. Like a toxic chemical of some kind. Do you think it could be poison? There's very little question in my mind. And my mind is usually full of questions. I'm a bit tired of hearing how amazing your mind is. Let's say you're right. What's the point of painting a light bulb in poison? I'll have to think about that. Okay. Mr. Reads a Lot. Okay, so in my room, Mr. Reads a Lot is blue. Same here. Oh yeah. Chemical murder is some of the easiest to get away with from what I watch. So chat knows this about me. I watch a lot of murder programs and real life crime programs, and from what I can gather, some of the serial killers that manage to get away the easiest are ones who use chemicals, because chemicals can do all sorts of crazy shit, and it's hard to, like, unless you are a fucking idiot and buy your chemicals somewhere easy to trace, it's very hard to track where they come from. It's contorted into a weird pretzel shape, right? No. Interesting. Haven't we seen a blue victim before? Yes. In The Invisible Weapon. Exactly, yes. Junie, what's your chemical joke? Tell me your chemical joke. So what? Why was that the case? Well, doesn't give the dummy give us a clue to the method of death. Like with the second mystery, the dummy was burned, and in the fourth, the dummy had a little broken heart. Blue victim had a third mystery. Mr. Stash was poisoned, I think. Yes, I'm shocked you remember that. My mind is like a steel trap. I occasionally got caught up in it. So I guess now all we have to do is figure out how Mr. Reads a Lot was poisoned. Seems so. Ah, yay! I know that joke, Junie. Chemist walks into a bar with his friend. He orders H2O. His friend says he wants H2O too. The friend dies. That one's a good one. It's because H2O2 is the chemical symbol for hydrogen monoxide, which is bad. Let me have a think. I've got a decent one. What's a chemist's favourite animal? A lab. There you go. That's my joke. That's my return joke. That's my return joke. That's the first one I can think of the top of my head. I used to know a lot of chemistry jokes, because I used to hang around in, like, the chemistry. I was either found in high school in the chemistry room or the art room, because both teachers would let me just sit in their rooms at break times and do art. Just sit there and draw. So if I couldn't get into the art room, I'd go into the chemistry room to do the same thing. Because I used to just carry my art supplies around with me. I was one of those... I looked ridiculous as a fucking child, because I used to be a, like, skinny, tall for my age, skinny little thing, wandering around with a backpack the size of a fucking toddler. Just full of, like, art supplies and various books. I was hauling around, like, fucking bags that were, like, a whole fucking kilogram heavy. Like, really... I'm heavy bags for no fucking reason. It was all my own fault. Seems to be a children's book. Yep, got one here too. Huh, our rooms are pretty similar so far. Mr. Reads a Lot must have been reading it. But why? Does he have a kid? Billy won't ride his £600 bike. Nuh-uh, don't wanna. By Thomas Broke Dad. My wallet is crying. Oh, come on, Billy, give it a try. Please, Billy, it was £600. Latest in Billy series by award-winning author Thomas Broke Dad. Billy won't ride his £600 bike will have a 6-year-olds everywhere relating to refusing to play with or try anything that their parents spent upwards of £600 on. From giant unused teddy bears to that blow-up balloon castle that's big and a meal for the radioactive spiders in your garage. The moral of the story is, stop spending money on your lad, because they obviously don't appreciate what you do for them. That's a fucking good book. I would read this book purely because of the fucking spite in that blurb. I have a bike too, but I can't ride a bike anymore after my accident a couple years ago. I say a couple years ago, it was like 2 years ago. I got in a car accident and now I'm not allowed to ride bikes. How is this even relevant? I was still totally lost. Maybe 775 had a clue? 775, what are you thinking? Only difference in our rooms is the position of the victim, right? Mine's twisted into a weird shape and yours is fine. That's right. What that may mean is that we can figure out who the 2 criminals responsible for our respective mysteries are right away. How come? Figuring it out, that depends entirely on nothing, noting the differences in the crime scenes. And we already have enough to work with. We know the method of death was likely poison, which points to one criminal in particular, and of course my victim is twisted into a weird shape, which clearly points to a different particular criminal. Do you know what I'm talking about, or do I just have to tell you? No, of course I know what you're talking about. Then would you mark them in the file, please? I had no idea. Now, Girly Pop, I thought you were actually competent last episode, but this time you're like dumb for no reason. This one's like so obvious. Of course, a quick look at the suspects file might help me understand. We just need to mark the 2 criminals 775 is thinking of. I need to go to options, because something is fucked up with the game. No, I can't. The mouse cursor, I can't... Okay, it's working again now. I don't know why, but for some reason... It was the game. It wasn't my mouse, it was the game. But I couldn't select things with my mouse. I could only select them with the arrow keys. And I thought maybe I was just forgetting how this game was played, but no, there was something wrong. For some reason, it was just not working correctly. Right, her. No, it's doing it again. Right, let me try going into windowed mode. Okay. Okay, I fixed it. Going into windowed mode fixed it. But it killed my VTube Studio? Going into window mode fixed it, but it killed my VTube Studio. What is going on? What's going on? That's so weird. I've never had that happen before. Why did going into windowed mode break everything? This is the other guy, anyway. I think I'm gonna try maybe just not having filters on my model. Like, not using the colour filters and stuff like I was. It's disappointing because I like having make my model look like it fits in the game filters. But I think I'm gonna not do that for this, just to see if that was in case that was causing things to lag and freak out. Everything's fine now. Now that I've gone windowed mode. Can you guys all hear the game still and stuff? Is it Drender and Filter? Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Oh, so no, I can't... I'll never ride a motorcycle because my mum got in a terrible motorcycle accident and now can't walk. And that proper put me off because I was obsessed before. Because my granddad and his brothers were all part of a motorcycle gang here in the UK. So I have a very interesting lineage, actually, for anyone who cares about that sort of thing. I come from, one side of my family is farmer motorcycle gang. Like, thinking Sons of Anarchy kind of motorcycle gang. Yeah, and the other side are Romani gang. So, like, yeah, there you go. And that's not even why my parents met. My parents met working at McDonald's. My parents met as teenagers working at McDonald's. My mum was like 18 when she had me. By the time I was born. Like, my family has crazy lore. Yeah, both sides of my family. Romani. I'm not allowed to use the word. Well, no, I'm allowed to use the word, but I'm not going to. Because I don't want anyone freaking out about it. But Romani, half my family, I don't really talk to. And then the other half of my family was just my granddad on that side. His brothers and him. And he had like 7 brothers. So this is like a big family. I have a huge ass family, and that's why there's so much crazy lore. I just have such a huge ass family. That's why I have crazy lore. I have crazy lore just because there's so many of us. We're like fucking everywhere. Literally, that's not a joke. We're like fucking everywhere. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. How you doing? We're just doing ads at the sec, and because the game broke for a second, I'm just going to give it a couple seconds to make sure everything's okay. We're talking about my insane lore. We're talking about my insane lore. This game is called Methods, the detective game. It's fun. It's got but it's got something like 100 chapters. Or like 200 chapters and like 100 characters for me to voice. So, yeah, this game is big, but the chapters are only like 2 minutes long each. Yeah, yesterday was so fucking fun. Honestly, yeah, it is big VA practice, trying to come up with all sorts of different voices. Some more successful than others. Right, we'll carry on now, because I think ads are done. Filter's the only criminal who uses poison, and the contorted victim in your room fits Drender's modus. Yeah, but now we have to figure out the actual mystery. Fortunately, it's pretty simple. What was the purpose of putting poison on the lamp? Oh yeah, that had been pretty strange. To heat the poison? Ah, what if the bulb heated up the poison? Exactly. And that would only be possible with one of these old-fashioned bulbs. But why would they want to heat it up? You tell me. Great, just what I wanted to do. More thinking. To evaporate the poison. Turning it into gas. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wait, isn't this the entire solution? The murder comes in where the victim is out, paints the bulb with poison, the victim turns the light on, poison evaporates and kills him. Exactly. I'm doing my dance right now. You don't have to tell me. Wait a minute, in your room the victim's all contorted. Is there a completely different solution to your room? Don't think so. Phew. As I said, I'm familiar with poisons. Drender could have used a poison that caused Mr. Reeves a lot to contort into this strange shape. Nice. So tidy. Seemed like we solved everything. Is there something we forgot? Oh right, the bonus question. We should really be better at remembering to answer it. Why did Mr. Razelot reject Mr. Purple Approach so many times? Let me check the case file again. Good idea. He's a publisher. Because he'd been rejected 100 times. He's reading children's books. So maybe he was rejected because he was submitting his novels to a picture book publisher? Great work, Nell. Yeah, the art style is super nice, Dev. That's why I picked this game to begin with, to be fair. That's why I pick 90% of the games I play. Why bold? I'm bold now. Oh. Wrong one. There we go. We found the boy. I'm bold now. But yeah, no, that's why I pick 90% of the games I play, is because art style good. Because art style good. I just like game that art style good. 90% of my enjoyment of a game comes from good art style. And I don't mean realism, I mean like fun. Fun, quirky art style. I think you're gonna hit the nail on the head. And fun character. Fun character, quirky art style. I love Shape! Maybe me too, I also love Shape. I love Shape. All my art is very Shape. Thanks. Finally some recognition for my talent. Took him long enough. Submit. Correct. Your score on this mystery is 100%. Your answer to the bonus question was acceptable. Awesome. Unfortunately, there's an error in our ranking system, so we can't release all the ranks at once. It may be a while before you hear how you ranked, but it will be some time after lunch at the latest. Until then, my earpiece went dead. I took it off and joined 776 out in the hall. Oh yeah, so for the people who weren't here last time, our partner that we're paired up with, his name changes every time he wins a case. His name is a number because it's the number of cases he's solved. So every time we win a case, his number gets bigger. Oh, Devi, you'll love him. He's also a clown. Whose both of his parents were clowns. He's a detective and both of his parents were clowns. He's great. How about to celebrate my 776th case, we hold a little party? As long as there's a clown at the party. There's always a clown of some sort. Sounds good. I was looking forward to meeting more detectives. Meet you in a few minutes. He wandered off to recruit some desperate lonely people, which was easier than you think. After about 15 minutes, I knocked on his door. I opened it, revealing himself, Detective Snakes, a detective I didn't recognise, and to my surprise, Haney. How'd you get her to come to your party? I asked. Obviously. But isn't there some sort of rule about the Greater being overly familiar with detectives or something? They hadn't thought up that rule yet, apparently. I was getting the feeling that I'd just helpfully broken an uncomfortable silence. Hi, I'm Detective 776's partner, Nell. He wanted to have a party to celebrate his official 776th case. A deadly idea. Thanks for humouring him. Since you're all here, let's just relax and have fun. Everyone stared blankly at me. Now, you may not realise this, but the real reason 776 is throwing this party is not to celebrate some new random integer and his name's changed to... We're discussing something important. The rankings. Oh. I was mentally facepalming again, and again, and again, and again. It's the first time this has happened in a long time. You know, since you were here for the last one. You mean she was a previous contestant? I would have never have guessed that. By the way, Nell, I'm Roll. You sound like you look attractive. Is that accurate? I hadn't noticed. Insulted again. Wow. 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 Let the girl take a fucking compliment. Let Nell be complimented, you dicks. The pretty disheveled blind lady called Nell pretty. Let her have that. Let her have that. They ruined the Yuri. Also, yes, Devi, the character designs in this are all very good. The sideburns on fucking 776 is very funny. Judging by that, I guess you're super ugly. Down to real business at hand. Why is this happening? I think I know why. You two have probably guessed as well. I've been hearing her lying all throughout the competition. But I thought it was for another reason. Who? What? I was still reeling from being called ugly. I didn't like to think that sort of thing would bother me, but it kind of did. We're talking about Red July. We suspect she's cheating. That's why this ranking glitch happened. Game Master's covering it up for some reason. What? How could they even think that? They must be jealous of her never taking the first place spot. Don't get excited, Nell. It's just a suspicion. A well-founded one, though. Did you see what she did in the lobby? Well, Roll didn't. She heard it. I can hear when people are lying. Their heart rate tends to increase. Their voice tends to tighten up and go slightly in pitch. When solving for other factors, they're lying. I only need to hear samples of a statement without a lie and free of tension, and I can recognize whenever the person's not telling the truth. See, this is a power that makes sense for a blind person to have, actually. This is a power... I appreciate that. I appreciate that they picked her power to be something that actually makes sense for a blind person. Being able to tell when people are lying. That makes, like, I can see that. Her voice changed the most when she said easy, and also when she was talking about the trash can. It's reasonable to draw from that she thought of her method of cheating when she said easy, and that made her slightly stressed. Also, we didn't get much of a great detective like her observing the contents of the nearby trash can, but if she didn't and someone told her what was in it, then she implied that she did. That may also have produced stress. He had probably stood on his head, but I didn't even blink, I was so over it. By the way, don't mind me. I'm just jogging my memory for clues. I didn't say this before because it was a little embarrassing, but I've been trying to talk to Red July this entire competition. Her lips are usually sealed so tight it would take a crowbar to pry these apart. But back in the lobby... You're right. Red July rarely ever talks. She'd know better than to make a deduction someone else could have made instead. It's almost like she was impatient or overly eager to demonstrate. Well, now I'm extra flattered that she wanted to talk to me of all people. Yeah, it's not that much like her at all to be such a blabbermouth. I knew Red July wouldn't let me down. May I remind you all of the words which will make everything clear? Everyone stared at him expectantly. Fish and beer. We all groaned. I knew he'd do that, but I let him do it anyway. I'm referring, of course, to my classic joke about the fish ordering a beer. You've all heard it, right? I half expected somebody to punch him, and that somebody was me. A fish walks into a bar. Yes, we've heard it. And your stupid Oreo analogy. So, what of it? Well, most moral is bias. Everyone has it. He started running around the tiny room. We need to take into account we might be cutting Red July slack because she's been ranked best in the contest. Let's look at the facts. The rankings haven't been announced, which is out of the ordinary. Red July made a deduction that seemed out of character for her. We drew from those two facts the hypothesis that Red July was cheating. He knocked over a lamp. Slakes groaned and clutched his face in annoyance. Why did I come to this lunatic's party? Huh, obvious. Because I was bored? Well, you're right. No, what's obvious is why Red July is acting strange. I stood there while he caught his breath, waiting with the others for an answer. Come on, nobody. It's one of those forehead slap things. Slakes, you're ranked second. Nothing. Roll, you're in fifth. Haney, you're the best detective in the room. Doesn't everybody know? Actually, yes, but I'm having too much fun watching you run around and brag about your skills like a prat. In fact, Roll and Haney know too. They were planning on keeping you in the dark for longer, so you owe us one now. Red July hasn't been Red July this whole stage. That was Detective Honor. Oh, duh. Guys, I figured that out right away. I just thought it was too obvious, so I didn't say anything. Nobody cared. By the way, the best way to tell Honor apart is visually. Their imitation of Red July's voice, presence, and smell is quite good. But it's not enough to fool me. It was at that moment I realised something about Roa. The way she'd been talking this whole time, it sounded like, Roll, are you blind? Yeah, genius. Do you think I use this cane for fun? Anyway, I couldn't set Honor back in the lobby, only Red July, which is even greater evidence for the switch. So if Honor was mimicking July in the lobby, and Honor wasn't in the lobby, then where is Red July? Mort, why would I be ashamed of being a furry? I don't care. I have loads of furry art. I've had done way worse than be a furry. I'm not like a furry because I'm not really into the subculture stuff. I just like characters that are anthropomorphic. But like, I was a Homestuck. I was Homestuck famous. Nothing is more embarrassing than being Homestuck famous. Like, nothing is more embarrassing than being Homestuck famous. The only way it could be worse than being Homestuck famous is being My Little Pony famous. Like, that's the only thing I could have possibly done. Yeah, like, I am Cringe Master 9000 over here. One of my college projects, the first college project I ever did, for my first college final, so for the first year of college, the last thing I did as my big project was draw gore of several of my classmates that I was kind of friends with, and myself. Like, I made resin maggots for that shit. I've done way worse shit. I'm not embarrassed by any of it. I'm cringe, but I'm free. I've done, like, way worse shit. Yeah, Dev. I even still like some of the stuff that I did back then. I did, like, a portrait of myself, and then I made one of those ornate gold frames with the gold leaf, and I also made a drawing of me, and then I made resin pieces that looked, what Catholics do to the saint skeletons, where they coat the saint skeletons in gold filigree with gemstones inlaid in it and stuff. I did a portrait of myself that looked like that. But the filigree and the gemstones were 3D. So it was a 3D, 2D portrait in a handmade frame. Yeah, people don't understand. I didn't just go to art school. I went to art school and I got distinction every year. I went to art school and I got a distinction every single year of art school. Yeah, like, I did really well at art school. I was a very good artist. I don't brag about it because I don't see the point in bragging about it. But, like, this is the true fact about me. I went to art school. I went to art university. And I got distinction for, like, everything I did. My final project for the last year of college, before I started art uni, was I made an entire book. I wrote and illustrated an entire scientific journal, like kids' dumbed down version of a scientific journal on dinosaurs. Like, I made like an entire book. I had it printed, and I printed more than one copy of it. It's still in my room somewhere, the book. But I also did like a bunch of stuff where I was gonna make the book, like I did a bunch of what got me a really good grade in that project in particular was the fact that I did a bunch of textiles research, because I was going to make it an interactive book for autistic children on dinosaur facts that people get wrong, like out-of-date scientific stuff about dinosaurs. And I was going to use fabric and stuff to make it one of those texture books for kids. Like, I went hard at art school. I loved art school. I wish that I could be an artist, but that's just not in the cards for me because of the way that the world is. Yeah, I did like a whole presentation on autism and like neurodivergency and stuff as part of the project. My favourite unknown dino fact. That's hard because I haven't got the book with me right now. But one of my top favourites is, well, the easiest one to explain to people is the fact that velociraptors are actually like chicken-sized, maybe large chicken-sized. That the Jurassic Park is a bullshit liar, and that velociraptors are actually like large chicken-sized. Or that, like, there are loads of dinosaurs. It's a common misconception that dinosaurs always abandoned their young, and that their babies grew up like by themselves and had to fend for themselves once they hatched. Like, the answer's no, they didn't. Honestly, do I think dinosaur would taste like chicken? Maybe, because a chicken is a dinosaur. Like, a chicken is in the same family as several species of dinosaur. So it's totally possible they would. They would either taste like that or they'd taste like crocodile. I could see it going either way. But yeah, if I can find some of my stuff from back then, I'll see if I can find some of it and post it in the Discord later. So, we don't actually know if velociraptors hunted in packs or not. But all we know currently, they were, like, scavengers. For all we know currently, velociraptors are more like scavengers. Where they would eat something smaller than them, and they might try and eat something slightly bigger than them, if they could feel like it was weak and they could kill it. But it's not very particularly likely. Some were mammals? Question mark? Question mark? What do you mean? Explain. We're off topic from game now. We're talking about dinosaur time. Because there are prehistoric mammals, yeah. But a lot of them didn't exist at the same time as dinosaurs. A lot of them existed a lot earlier or later. Like, all the ones on my tattoo existed way, way later than any fucking dinosaurs. Because, like... And then you have, like, maybe one or two, like the Hell Pig. That's just the nickname, I can't remember its actual name. That came before dinosaurs, I want to say. But don't quote me on that one, because I might actually be wrong. But yeah, no, it's, there's... Dinosaurs are cool. I like dinosaurs. If people, I don't know if I should post this, actually. I don't know if I should bring this up. Let me have a think. Let me have a think about whether I should say this or not before I say it. Because there is a blog out there for the Gore Project that people could go and see. But it's on Tumblr, but people should be aware that it has pictures of me because there are self-portraits. And the artwork is like old. I was doing some mixed media bullshit. Like, I might post it to the Spooky Girls, but I don't think I'm going to make it like massively like tell people about where it is. But it does exist. If anyone finds it on their own, I don't care. Like, if people find it on their own, that's fine. Also, hi Weeb. We're talking about my early artwork. I'm trying to see if I can find my college stuff. Because I know I posted a lot of that as well. Because I used to do Tumblr blogs for all of my different projects. Like a different Tumblr blog for different stages of my stuff. Because I have a university blog as well. Although that one I don't want people looking for. Because that one has my actual name attached to it. There was even a Pigeon Wishes Tumblr for a little while. There for my first design. Weird to think about that I did that. Even though VTubers aren't really all that popular on Tumblr. But that was a thing I did. Yeah, I was just doing some bullshit. I really was just doing some bullshit when I first started. God, that's crazy. It's crazy to think about. I have like so much artwork just online that people could find it. People could find any of this artwork. I'm pretty sure Junie could easily find some of this stuff. Because like, I'm entirely sure that we knew each other on Tumblr, as we have said before. Only in vague passing. But yeah, we knew each other on Tumblr vaguely. Weird. I had a TikTok as well for a while. Where I was posting artwork, but I've deleted that now. Crazy. Yeah, I can deliberately trace back to like, if I go to that blog, how far back can I go back on this blog? I wish Tumblr had ways to filter, so that I could filter like my own artwork from things I reblogged. Because that would be helpful. Being able to filter my artwork from Tumblr would be helpful. That's from before I started college. The oldest... Okay, let's see how far back the oldest art pieces I can find. And it will have to be like digital art, because I think most of my artwork were, when I actually started posting it, was all digital. And MS Paint. Oh no, I lie. The oldest piece I can find on the internet of my artwork, this is gonna be so fucking cringe to admit. The oldest artwork I have on the internet is from 2015, and it is a Jeff the Killer drawing. Yep, the oldest artwork I have is a Tim Burton-esque looking Jeff the Killer drawing. Fucking hell, Pitch. Fucking hell, what was I doing? What was I doing? What was I doing? God. God, what was I doing? I'm taking psychic damage looking at this. I was just a girl online. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I need to immediately post this. I need to immediately post this. I need to immediately post this. You need to see this immediately. I'm posting it to the Spooky Girls chat. You need to immediately see this. Oh no. I'm going to like... Oh no. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. What? I might post that on my actual Discord because people need to see this art. Holy shit, what was... Chat. Okay. It's beautiful. It's art. It's pure art. It's pure and great art. Oh my god. I'm gonna put this on screen for you guys to see. You need to see this. Chat needs to see this because I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm actually crying. I'm putting it on screen now, don't worry. It's so fucking big. It's so fucking big, but I need you to see. This was the kind of shit I was on. This was the kind of shit. 2015 Pigeon. This is the kind of shit that 2015 Pigeon was doing with her life. This was me as a 14-year-old. This is what I was doing at 14 or 13. I want to say probably 13 at this point. This is what 13-year-old Pigeon was up to. Coming home from high school. Coming home from her first year of high school. And drawing this. Art. Art. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that it's Andy Biersack. It's anime Andy Biersack. And that's just all the context that's needed. I feel like to the right people this says a lot about me as a person. Literally, when I posted it onto my Tumblr from that age, I titled it A Manga Drawing of Andy Biersack. That's what it was called when I posted it on Tumblr. When I was fucking 13. God, what was wrong with me? What's weird to me is that I was actually good at art, though. I had, like, some amazing realism stuff I was doing at this point, where I was drawing super realistic animals, and for some reason this was what I was deciding to post on Tumblr. Like, this is what I was posting on Tumblr instead of the amazing realism art I was doing. It was between that and my Homestuck trolls. I should bring back some of these designs. They actually slap. They actually slap. Some of my Homestuck trolls actually slap. God, what? God. Oh, God, hair. Hair. Honestly. Honestly. I thought I ate. I thought I ate with so much of this. And looking back at it... Oh no, I need people to see this thing that I drew. This thing that I drew people need to see. No, I need you all to know that this is unofficial. This is not official art. This is non-official art, but I need you all to see it. God. No, it's not, I can't do this as a model, I would get sued. Underswap Sans. Underswap Sans model. Underswap Sans sprite that I drew on MS Paint. Honestly, not horrendous. The Homestuck art was paying off at this point. The Homestuck art, I think, was actually paying off at this point in my timeline. I think I would actually kill for a pixel art model, though, actually, by someone who actually knew what they were doing. I joke, but, like, ironically, this is not that bad. None of the artwork I actually showed off was actually that bad. It's just the inherent cringe of it all. It's just the inherent cringe of it all. What I was doing as a 13-year-old on the internet. That's over 10 years ago at this point. God, the Spooky Girls chat is going to be so confused when they click into the group chat and see just anime Andy Biersack. They're going to be so confused when Elwyn and Junie look at the fucking group chat. That's going to be hilarious to see their reactions later. Okay, we'll get back to the game. Because I want to try and finish this next couple sections before we have to end. That's when Red July opened the door. I love showing off my old art, because while I cringe at it, I am still like, oh, it was actually kind of good for my age. Like, there was some fundamentals there. She understood where some things should go. She could not fucking draw hands. The hands were fucking tiny. But she understood, like, shoulders. She knew how shoulders work. "13. A simpler time. Probably worse, but a simpler time." Chapter 15. The Watching Room. Part 3. The highest-ranking detective of the mysterious detective competition, cheating. This is the problem currently plaguing the contestants' game masters. The contest's game masters. What do we do? What do we do? Our game master room had been set up in a hotel room this time, and the furniture had been pushed to the sides. We were all a little cramped. We have to announce the rankings at some point. This happens sometimes. Do you think it's the first time a detective's been under suspicion? He looked at me like I wanted to know the answer. No. No, it isn't. Kim was busy sorting every tie he owned on her desk. There was a chaotic group of we were a chaotic group of game masters, that was certain. Wasn't just a new development. We'd always been unorganised. Look, there's smiley faces on that one. Toss it. We were all agitated and stressed. May not have been the first time this had happened, but it wasn't any reason not to worry over it. Let's start from the beginning. We wiped our whiteboard clean and started making notes. Red's plan: shut off cameras, team up with other detectives. Does she even have a method? Is she something rig fake? I can't read that writing. We've been using it to tally how many times we've gotten a waste paper ball to land in the trash can without hitting a wall or bouncing. What'd you do that for, Clark? I'm sure I was in first. Nah, I was. Now that our scoring system had been destroyed, we'd never know. Have a good lurk, Dev. Thank you for coming in, hun. Thank you for making me bring up my 13-year-old cringe. I joke, but I still listen to, like, all of those old emo bands. I joke, but I still listen to all of those old emo bands. I never really changed that much. I now also just listen to musicals as well. I stopped hating everything girly. and started having joy and whimsy again, and enjoying things that are also girly. Because, like, that's a thing that teenage girls go through for a while, I think, for some teenage girls at least. At least ones like me. When you go through a whole phase where, like, you hate everything girly because... And it's, like, a symptom of, like, other stuff going on around you and being forced, feeling like you're being forced to be girly. Makes you hate girly things. And just, like... And also, if you're a kid like me who was really, really badly bullied, the people that bully you tend to be super girly. So, like, you grow to resent girliness as a concept and just get super into, like, alternative stuff. Or, like, more masculine hobbies and stuff. And it's not that I don't like any of those things. I actually do like most of those things still. But I don't also just, like, as you grow up, you just stop hating girly things as much. It's like, yeah, I like death and I like gore and I love horror movies and games and murder and detective content. But I also just like Lego. I like Lego plants. I like Lego flowers and animals. And jewellery and like sparkly things. And like also some girly hobbies, like I don't know how to describe it, but it, like, as I got older, I've just started, like, I think it's just a part of getting older and mellowing out as a person, because I was a very angry child, because of a bunch of shit, just a bunch of shit, and so I was a very angry child, and I feel like I mellowed out very well as an adult. It took me a long time to become a well-rounded person, but then I feel like I kind of needed that, because now I am a pretty okay well-rounded person, I think. And that's what makes me so good to my friends. Is because because I was such an angry child and had to, like, learn to deliberately be a relaxed, mature person. I don't know. There's probably a psychologist out there that's taking notes about all of this. But I just think that it's cool. It's fun to think about. I find it interesting. Yeah, like, I hated things like Ed Sheeran and stuff when I was a teenage girl. But now I would happily listen to, like, some of the Ed Sheeran songs and stuff on the scripts. And, like... But I also really like the Cranberries. And also, like, MCR. But I also like the Oh Hellos, and, like... I like a lot of music. I listen to a lot of stuff. I even listen to Jubyphonic covers of, like, anime music. That's the thing with me as a person, is that as I've gotten older, I like a little bit of everything. There's very few genres of stuff that I will turn around and say, I don't really like that. And most of, like, even surreal art and stuff, which is a controversial thing for a lot of people, I'm like, I appreciate some surreal art, actually. Yeah, Cage the Elephant's okay. I was always more of a, like, Fall Out Boy. I was, like, your very basic emo child. Because of the age, because of when I grew up. Which was the early 2000s, when those bands were at their biggest. Stuff like, and also, like, my music taste is massively influenced by my mom, who likes stuff like that, and my auntie, who is, like, the world's biggest Green Day fan. So, like, I just grew up with people who liked lots of different genres of music. Like, my dad's massively obsessed with rap music. Or was massively obsessed with rap music. He's got all of Eminem's albums, and we used to listen to them in the car on the way to school. Or, like, he had, like, all of Tupac's albums and stuff as well. Like, I grew up in a very eclectic house. I grew up in a very, very eclectic house where, like, my parents both like very, very different things. I love violin. I love a good violin in anything. I also like, so, weird, like, I love Irish folk music too, and sea shanties. I just have like such an eclectic taste in music. I like lots and lots of music. I'm open to listening to like anything. And there's very little music that I'll turn around and say, I actually don't like that. And most of it is like SoundCloud rappers that I will turn around and say, I don't know. Yeah. Meh. That's really the only genre that I'm kind of like, meh. Because I think a lot of them just rap about nothing burger. And I like rap music when it's got a, like, story to it. That's my only hot takes. I love a bit of Donald Glover at the moment. I've been listening to a lot more of his rap at the moment. Shrug. 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 I keep going off topic. This is a very off-topic game day. I'm sorry to anyone who actually wanted to see me play game. Nerdcore! I love Nerdcore. Stupendium fucking slaps. Stupendium's my goat. I know if anyone's ever gonna make a music about a thing that I will listen to on repeat for weeks, it will be Stupendium. But also Dan Bull. Dan Bull is also good. I remember there for a while that Dan Bull held the record for the world's fastest rapper. Because I think when I was a kid, at some point he had a rap song and it beat Eminem out as the fastest rapper for a little while. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. Because I can't remember what he was rapping about, but it was something nerdy, like some sort of nerdy... it was a nerdcore song, but it was rapped faster than Eminem can. And I thought that was the coolest shit to me at the time. Because I was like, they're rapping about nerd shit, and I love nerd shit. But yes, back to game. I promise, chat, I promise I will try and get less distracted. I promise I will try and be less distractible so we can play game. Because it's already been almost 2 hours and I've only played like a little bit of game. I got distracted with old art and music. Next time everyone will start with 5 points each. At this point we discussed the situation so many times I was desperate to talk about something else. Please, help me concentrate. Actually, there's no way I'll be able to concentrate. You draw Kane. He handed Kane the marker. This round's mystery is solved in less than 56 seconds by Red July. It took Slake's 1 minute and 18 seconds and 776 a minute and 45 seconds. That's not counting deduction time. Fortunately for the detectives, we didn't count the time it took to explain the deduction unless it was an incorrect deduction. The deductions took 30 to 40 seconds on average, and for the top 3, they're all correct. You're forgetting why we thought she was cheating in the first place. She'd be drawing the various times on the board with neat, organised script. No, you don't have to shut up. We can still chat about it a little bit, but I want to try and stay a little bit more on track with game. Because I am enjoying this game. I just need to... I'm still in a kind of manic headspace from yesterday. Our cameras were disabled and we had no time to fix them. Not just any cameras, all of Red July's and Honors. When we sent a guy to fix the problem after Red July solved the mystery, we found her room empty. She'd apparently left with Detective Honor right when we told her she'd won. Then we started a search and they couldn't find her anywhere. Yeah, we all know this. We have yet to figure it out. Why Red July wouldn't want us to know what she was doing through the cameras. What she was doing and how she managed to turn them off without us seeing her do it. Wow, it's a mystery. Too bad there weren't any detectives around to solve it. We'll figure it out eventually. Meanwhile, they're waiting for the ranking announcement. She turned, glaring at each of us with eyes that couldn't have been out of place on a hawk. Who's going to do it? I will. She pulled the com from its cradle. Final rankings have been organised. Nelly, the com button. You didn't press it. They didn't hear you. Melly reached for the button and Clark held out a hand. Wait, we haven't decided whether Red July is staying in or not. Let's do this the democratic way. We'll vote. This isn't really a democratic country. I think what Melly means is that isn't a very good way to decide. Let's kick July off the rankings this round and conduct our own investigation during the second round. Then if we're wrong about her cheating, we'll issue an apology. Good, that's what we should have done in the first place. He grabbed the comm from Melly, who played a brief, half-hearted game of tug-of-war with it before giving it up, and pressed the announcement button. The jingle was heard. Hello, my brilliant little bundles of mystery joy. Chapter 16. Loose at the seams. Detectives have gathered for an impromptu party to discuss the problems Red July is having. However, they're interrupted by a surprise visitor. Red July herself? About time you showed up, Honor. Better late than not be, as they say. They reached up and grabbed their chin and pulled, revealing a face beneath their face. Ah. Something wrong? No, not at all. You just surprised me. The real face was very plain. That probably helped them with disguises. What's going on? Red July isn't able to participate in the contest at the moment. Yes, we figured that out. But why? Is this room bugged? It was bugged. But I found all the bugs and disabled them. Good. Though it's safe to tell you, Red July's incredible detective powers come with a cost. Every so often her brain will become overloaded and shut down. She needs to rest right now. That's all this is? What a relief. I misthought Red July. Well, I won't go there. So this is the best possible time for us to try and overtake Red July, eh? No, Slegs. I believe you're looking at this all wrong. What? We need to help Red July. The Game Master thinks Red July is cheating. He told us as much at the end of the round. That's why the rankings haven't been announced for the round yet. Hold on, you're gonna hear them. We're gonna hear them soon. What? How'd you know? I can hear them in the other rooms. Right on cue, the Game Master's jingle sounded out. Hello, my brilliant bit of bundles of mystery joy. So something strange went on this round. 2 rooms were completely dark the entire time. Now you may know that we have hidden cameras in the rooms so that we know how the detective solved the mystery. Since we couldn't see into this detective's room, there's a possibility that they cheated. So we're dealing with this horrible circumstance. We're going to hold off revealing any rankings until we know what's going on. The intercom clicked off. Wait, Honor, why not just tell them the Game Master what's wrong with the Red July? The Game Master can't know the weakness of Red July's. It would undermine the... For some reason, Honor looked at Haney for reaction. It's fine, Honor. These are all high-ranking detectives. I'll explain everything. Cool, more explanations. Worst part of every detective novel. The facts are these. I approached Red July last stage about a certain project of mine. It's called TADS. TADS. The Tentative Alliance of Detectives in Secret. TADS. You're almost as good at naming things as I am. Last competition, I tried to get into the Game Master's room 22 times. Fortunately, they never caught me at it. This year, working as a staff member, I'll finally get to the bottom of this competition. Find out what they want, how they operate, what the point of this is. There was another competition? Yes, but it was in Canada. Of course, I didn't hear of it. Nobody knows what goes on in the mysterious land of Canada. Red July agreed to help me. Okay, no, sorry, it took me a minute to process that apparently nobody knows what happens in the mysterious land of Canada. That took me a second, but that was funny. I appreciated that. That's why it's important the Game Master is kept in the dark about how Red July's method works. Literally. Last round, Honor and Red July solved the mystery in the dark. What? But how? Why? It's the only way to circumvent the cameras. There are too many to disable. Hold on. Red July's brain isn't working. So how'd you guys solve the mystery? You cheating after all? Well, yes. It was the only way to keep the Game Master from knowing Red July's weakness. I told Honor the answer and they pretended to solve it. What? So unfair. Will only be for a few rounds. I'm done with this. It's Regula's problem. Let her figure out the solution on her own. I'm not gonna help a cheater. I totally disagree. Let's help Regula cheat everyone. Blake looked at 776 like he was completely out of his mind. Which, to be fair, was true. I see where you're going with this, Haney. Think about it. Game Master's currently distracted with this crisis, in which is actually a non-issue. It's a perfect opportunity to try and find the Game Master. I'm glad you see my way, 776. I don't know much about how the contest operates, but the Game Master's room isn't difficult to pinpoint. It's definitely in this hotel. With role listening abilities, she may be able to locate it while the announcement's being made. It's possible. I'd like to meet the Game Master. Imagine all of us would. First, though, we have to keep the Game Master from throwing Regula out of the contest. If he finds out she cheated in the last round. Yeah, but she did cheat, so I still don't see why this is a bad thing if she gets kicked out. If she booted out of the contest, then guess who gets to be in first place? Me. Poor old Slakes. Stuck in second place the whole contest. Sort of inclined to agree with Slakes. What does Regula really serve? Does Regula really serve your plans, Haney? I'm sure she's an amazing detective, but if everyone in this room puts their minds together, we're probably collectively smarter than her. It's just the truth. I'd stayed silent for too long. I refuse to hear them dog on Regula any longer. Can't believe you're saying this. Regula is the best detective in the contest. Even if she hadn't cheated, without this weakness of hers, she'd probably have wiped the floor with you, Slakes. What's really unfair is trying to get ahead of Regula at a time when she's clearly not able to properly compete. That's like bragging that you can walk better than someone who uses a wheelchair. Shame on you. Slakes looked right into my eyes, considering my words. Suddenly his expression changed. You're right. Rather be Regula when she's at her best. It'd be a shallow victory anyway. I knew you were a good person, Slakes. Guess you convinced me too now. Awesome. So now what? Thank you, Nell. If you all want to have Regula, I have an idea. We just need to buy her a little more time. 1 round should do. She should be back to normal. Just do what we did. Solve the murder in the dark. If the top 5 detectives all do it, the Game Master will have to focus his suspicion on all of us. I already do that, so it'll be no problem. Will he tell us the answer? Unfortunately, I can't possibly be in enough places at once to tell all of you the answer. So we'll actually have to solve it. In complete darkness? We can do it now. Okay. No, I was a bit worried. But if it was for Regula's sake, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. You're all members of TADS now. Awful name, but it's fine. Just don't make me pay dues. And I better get to meet the Game Master. He left. The announcement jingle sounded. The second round is starting soon. Please make your way into the lobby and we'll be setting up the next set of mysteries. This is it. Solve the mystery as fast as possible and then meet me on the criminal side. I think that's where the Game Master room is. Sounds good. We're finally going to meet the Game Master. I wonder what I should ask him. Chapter 17. Meeting the Game Master. There's a plot in the works to finally meet the Game Master of the mysterious detective competition. But in order for it to work, Detective Nell and Detective 776 must solve Stage's 2-second mystery in the dark. Solving a crime in the dark was way harder than Haney made it sound. Fortunately, since the windows in the hotel were real, it wasn't entirely dark. Could be worse. We're not bumping into each other, seeing as we're in separate rooms. Try to separate your thoughts from your mind and stand in your head. There's no way I was doing that again. Time to get down to business. Mr. Catapult was found dead in her Miss Catapult was found dead in her hotel room at 7 p.m. Mr. Montague, Miss Capulet's bitter boyfriend, was arrested. The room was locked from the inside when the crime was discovered. You do not have access to the autopsy report. In one version of the mystery, Mrs. Capulet would have been arrested if she hadn't been killed. Why? It's all hard to read in the dark. I fumbled for the suspect file. Modus. Faraway is a sniper who can assassinate victims from over 106 miles away. Minefield deals exclusively in explosive devices, usually with the aim of catching his victims in the explosive traps. Quiver shoots her victims with her signature ghost bow, which rarely leaves a trace. Silence is a mime who uses bombs, an incredibly unique concept. Okay, time to investigate what little I can here. You saying something now? Just talking to myself. The dark room made me a bit nervous. On the bed, there's a rock with a note on it. No, there is, however, a bomb near the window. You sound pretty calm about it. It isn't a real mystery, Mel, remember? No, this is real. Yeah, I know. You didn't have to remind me. How patronizing. This must be part of the discovery that will tell us which criminals are responsible for this mystery. What does this note say? An old-fashioned love letter thing. It says, "Come towards my window, my lady fair." I don't think it's accurate for the time period. Whatever. Maybe there's a clue on it. Doesn't seem like there's anything here. Seeing perfectly normal note. No special poisoned ink, no super secret code. What a terrible imitation of the style of the bard. Oh well. You win some, you completely and totally fail at some. There's shattered glass on my side. I say too, by the window, right? Yep. Something definitely came in through the window. Detective 101 to deduce which direction something smashed a window from. All detectives must do it, at some point. I congratulate you, Nell. Thank you. Mrs. Capulet. Okay, I'm seeing an obvious bullet wound on Mrs. Capulet over here. Pin it on hold with a trail of blood running through it? Yep. Okay, both our sides are the same then. So far so good. Looks like we've investigated everything. Wait, Nell. Check the window near where the hole in the window is. Yeah? Is there a thin red line on the sill? I'll check. Yes, there's a thin red line. Do you think it's blood or something else? Definitely blood, otherwise it'd just be needlessly confusing. Then it has something stopped the game master when has something stopped the game master before. Fair enough. We investigated all there was to investigate. Now to make sense of it all. Good thing the vestry was near the window. It's really dark in here. Yeah, I hope it pays off. So the only difference between our rooms is that mine that has a bomb in it and yours has a rock instead. Seems so. Okay, let's start with the MOD. Method of death. I know what MOD means. It will look at the suspects while two of them probably have created the wounds on the victim. Why don't you mark those for me? Always marking menial tasks. He could create the mark. So he just wants to find out. Yeah, they could have left. I couldn't quite understand the wording for some reason. He just wanted who could make a mark like that. Far away and quiver. Yeah, those two have similar moduses. The Game Master's getting tricky this round. So it's either a gun or an arrow that killed the victim. Since we don't have an autopsy part, we don't know which is which. Hey, if this is a real mystery, you could have figured it out right away. It's often the case, I've noticed. There's also never more than one suspect. True. So anyway, I think I know which one it is, and particular clue points to the one I'm thinking of. Clue pointed to the weapon that was used to murder the victim. Which clue was 776 thinking about? The blood on the sill. We know the hole in the glass was far above the sill. That line bothers me. Does that have something to do with what you're thinking? Yeah, precisely. We didn't find a bullet or an arrow in the room, so I think the red line has to do with how the weapon was retrieved from the room. I get it. There's no good way to retrieve a bullet from a distant location where you shot it to. But the same isn't true for an arrow. If you tie a string to it. Exactly, Nell, yeah. Arrowhead has a string attached. After shooting it into the victim, the killer retrieved it from the room simply by yanking the arrow back through the window. We assume the killer shot the victim at a higher vantage point. There's a little chance the arrow would stick inside the room. Nice. So this is mean. Quivers is one of the criminals who created the mystery. Yeah, that's my thinking as well. Awesome, we're getting somewhere. Furthermore, I think we can safely say that you got Quivers' room. My room has a bomb in it. Looking at the suspects, well, there are 2 criminals that seem the most probable suspects. Easy one now. He's right, it was pretty easy. Science and minefield. See, this one's easy. I wouldn't be so sure. The suspect's file says that minefield is an explosive devices. That doesn't rule him out entirely right. But the aim of this bomb wasn't to create a trap. It wasn't to create a trap? What role did the bomb and the rock play in the mystery? A lure. I see. Both the rock and the bomb acted as a way to draw the victim towards the window. After Mrs. Capulet locked herself in the room, the killer threw the rock through the window. The note told her to come to the window, so she obliged and was shot with the arrow. In your room, the killer threw the bomb through the window instead. The victim went to throw it out the window but got shot. That's it entirely now. Awe-inspiring work. Thank you. Now we just need to mark the correct suspects on the suspects file. Simple enough. There we go. The 2 ladies. Scribble in silence. Good work, Nell. Thanks again. Why was really laying it on thick? Oh wait, bonus question. In one version of the mystery, Mrs. Kepler could have been arrested if she hadn't been killed. Why? Let's think about it. Maybe... No, never mind, I got nothing. I think it's probably the bomb she would have thrown out the window if she hadn't been shot. It's just a dud meant to draw her towards the window, but maybe someone could have gotten hurt. At the very least, throwing a dud bomb from your room would likely raise suspicion. It's not perfect, but it's the best we got, right? Submit. Correct. Your score in the mystery is 100%. Your answer to the bonus question was acceptable. Great work, Nell. I didn't do much. As for your rankings, you appear to have solved the mystery in the dark. That made it impossible to verify. It seems that this case, with a number of pairs in this round, well, we sorted this issue. The rankings will not be released. So that was enough to help Red your eye. Yeah. Hi, Dano. Welcome in, Hearn. I rushed right into the hallway. He was already standing there, pleased look on his face. We outsmarted the game master and solved the case. What a nice day. Makes me want to tell a joke. Please don't. We don't have time. 2 friends are having an argument. The older friend says, I'm older than you, so I'm automatically win the argument. The younger friend sagely replies, yes, but that means you've had more practice of being an idiot. I'm guessing this joke has a moral. Never use age as a basis for superiority. You're just saying that because you're younger than most of the detectives here. I admit it, but there's more to it than that. I just like jokes with morals. Yeah, I noticed. Alright, time to meet up with Haney. Time to go to the criminal side again. Oh boy. Detective side is worse. Everyone's a rival. And this side is like everyone's part of one big family. It's only if they're part of the mafia. You see, made it sound pretty appealing. The doors open to the ugly, trashy criminal side hallway. I love a nice, welcoming atmosphere. Feel free to murder someone. I'm sure the game master would let you switch sides. I think a robbery would suffice. We quietly made our way down the hallway. Fortunately, it didn't seem like anyone heard us. At last we reached room 54. The door wasn't locked. I stepped inside cautiously. The sight that greeted me was similar to when I'd arrived in 777's party, almost every way, except for this was far more decrepit room and there was an extra person, who I guessed was the criminal the room belonged to. Look, it's my friend and former partner in crime, Four Eyes. What? I mean, yeah, that's me. Why did I have to have 777's stupid nickname for me? Why couldn't we discuss this beforehand? Hello, and you are? I offered a hand to the criminal. Sociopath contractor. Call sociopath constrictor, but call me Garden. She shook my hand firmly. Very firmly. Oh. That's a peculiar name. Is it your first or last? She just smiled and didn't reply. If we're dropping code names for now, then I'm Craney and she's Laney. Slakes winced. Glad I wasn't the only one who hated 777's games. Oh. That's unfortunate. 777's face dropped. Can't choose what you're given. Let's change the subject. Garden has helpfully provided us with a room to start your investigation from. Don't call it that, it makes you sound like you're some sort of detective. Wouldn't want that, right? A rebellion, then. Stupid, lame. Hads meeting. What does that mean? The Terrific Amicable Detainee Society. Bad, terrible. Let's get on with the meeting. Visionary hair, she indicated Roel, will tell us where to find the Game Master. I think I know what his room is now. I'll have 20-faced fiend wait here and signal us when the round's starting. If they need help, we'll use a special whistle and I'll send Snake to assist them. Snake's Grimace Studies code name. Snake? Sounds like our modus is similar. We should murder someone together sometime. Lovely. Visionary, Snake, Cranny, and Laney will go with me. Let's go now, while the rankings are still being announced and the round hasn't started. Yeah, nice mystery this round. I hadn't noticed before, but her room was set up like a crime scene. I glimpsed 2 dummies, one in a chair and one on the floor, but before I could look closely, Haney glared at me. Oops, we weren't supposed to see that yet. Oh yeah, what was it called again? The... Buy one cops, get one free, I think. Let's get on with it, shall we? See you next round. If you don't die. On that note, we left Garden's room. What a pleasant criminal. That was intense. What's my modus, Haney? You're a killer clown, of course. Yeah, it makes sense. Nell, you're an embezzler. Okay. Visionary is a fortune-telling fraud. I can do that. And I have done it, in fact. Honors is shape-shifting thief. And Slake's you're a snake charmer. You just love ridiculing me, yeah? Took hours to come up with. Hours. We had arrived at the stairway. In case of emergency, even the top floor has an exit. Today we'll be making our entrance. This is where the Game Master's room is? Yeah. At the top of the long staircase is a door that looks like it goes to the roof. But after listening carefully, I think it actually leads to the Game Master's room. Great, lead on. At the top of the stairs was a door with a gold trim. Written on the door in some spider script, which the note and the name tags were written, were the words, "Finding the answer to the mystery is like finding love. It's hard, and though you may lose hope along the way, those who look always find it. For us, it's finding love, because we love mysteries." Cheesy and poorly written. Makes me want to gag. Disgusting. No detective in their right mind would ever want to go near this door. How ingenious. And I think it's really sweet. The word you're thinking of is saccharin. Fine, you guys are unsentimental. With nothing but a push, the door swung open. Hello, children. Oh dear, did I leave the door unlocked? You're the Game Master? Wait, forget I asked. You're too young. Don't judge someone by their age. That's called ageism. Yeah, I know what ageism is. Wait, so does that mean you are the Game Master? No. I'm called the Voice Master. In order for the Game Master to respond in real time to every room in the contest, there are hundreds of Game Master voices set up in a call center in a building nearby. They are the ones you're talking to during the mysteries. 777 looked slightly disappointed. Oh, I thought we had a rapport. No more than you do with a telemarketer. What? What? You're broke now. I'm sorry. Lewis, it's you. Famous boy detective from the detective competition in England. Yeah, that's me. Do I know you? I'm from the Canadian competition. Detective Larker Downs. My name is Haney now. That is an awful name. Yeah, it's the worst, but it provides an extra layer of security. Excuse you. So that's it then. The point of the competition? To recruit staff members to work for the next competition? No, but no. No. It's an option if you participated in the last contest. Game Master likes to keep everything in-house. Ah. Does that mean every staff member is a detective? Yeah, but I could have told you that. Lewis, when you won the contest, what happened? I won $1 million. And I was told to keep in touch. That was all. Get to know you actually get $1 million. Look, I don't have any answers you're looking for. Sorry, I'm not the game master. However, I might be able to help you talk to one of the game masters. Yes. Being voice master, I have a direct line to the game master himself. The real game master. Excellent. But it's risky. I could lose my job here. It's a very high-paying job. Yeah, it is. It's the dental and medical and a 401k. Well, that's better than any job I've had. So, since you managed to assemble most of the top-ranked detectives in my little room here, maybe we could trade? See, I write mysteries. That's how I solve crimes, by writing out what I see and having my fictional detective solve them. It's lonely up here, so there's plenty of time to write. No reason for me to participate, so I decline. Can we leave? So you don't want to talk to the game master? I don't need you. I can talk to him anytime I want to, when I'm solving a mystery. That's just one of the voices talking to you. The actual game master is on a completely different level. Suppose you're right. Solve my mystery, detectives. That's all you have to do. It's at least really all you do. Guess it makes sense for something for you, since we now know about the voices. I'm up for it. Brilliant. I'm so happy. I'm happy too. I get to loudly point out all your grammatical errors. I fully welcome any feedback you have. What an oddball. But so was everyone else I met in this contest. We were so close to speaking to the real game master. We just had to solve the kid's stupid mystery. Piece of cake. Lord Lumi. The clue, and the clue of the missing nail. The detectives have stumbled on to a past contest winner who's working for the detective competition. He says he can get them in touch with the game master, but only if they solve a mystery from his book. Lord Lumi welcomed his client into the ramshackle room of his clubhouse nicknamed the Baraskew by the self-entitled Lord. It was here that he invited people in to solve their troubles, as a mental exercise, but cash in his pocket didn't hurt either. Wait, is this Lord Looney some sort of kid? Yes, he is. I can only write from my demographic, as I'm not old enough yet to write for the maturity of my work to catch that of the more experienced novelist. His client sat down. She was the daughter of a mayor of Slumpville, and... Can we please just hear the mystery part? It was rude of him, but I'm glad he asked. Who knows what fillery crap we'd have been forced to sit through. Lewis obligingly flipped ahead of a dozen or so pages. And the shade of eyeshadow you're wearing contains particle traces of glitter, which lends itself to the overall feeling of tackiness that I tend to avoid, and you appear to revel in. In summary, I don't like you. Well then, said his client, clearly impressed by his stupefying powers of reasoning. I don't like you either. You haven't even listened to my case yet. God forbid, said the Lord's assistant, Mr. Onion, who happened to be an atheist, but often used such expressions anyway. How is this... the mystery part? It's like He stopped and reconsidered before continuing. A well-known brand of junk food. The cream of story essence and character development is obscured by the cookies of pseudo-intellectual humour. The mystery part is coming soon. Everyone knows that a good mystery story has to have some other engagement besides the mystery. What's wrong with a little humour? Well, when it comes to at the expense of characters... Are these even characters? It seems like they're just one-off jokes with central gimmick that you can exploit to death because you don't know how to write good dialogue. That's a bit harsh. He's just a kid, for crying out loud, guys. Come on. Fine. Continue to waste our time. He waved at Lewis to continue. Mr. Onion, do you think it's time to hear this person's story? Asked Lumi, putting his hands on his hips, as he so often did. You tell me, you're the detective, said Mr. Onion sarcastically, as he so often did. Hey, that's the second time you so often did. Redundancy is indeed to be avoided, but I thought I could use it here to point out the similarities between Mr. Onion and Lord Lumi. Can we move on, please? You're just making this take longer. Fine, but get to the mystery soon. Lord Lumi made a gesture for the girl to tell her story. 3 days ago there was a murder in the bed and breakfast where I was staying, and unfortunately I was the prime suspect, said the girl. By the way, what's your name? I forgot to ask you, said Lord Lumi. Took you long enough to notice. Apparently the size of the heel on my shoes is important, she said. To me it is. I do not require a label to place upon objects in my house, for instance. I only need to know what the table's a table and a lamp is a lamp. You are a human. Insert Latin phrase summing it all up here. Now what do you go by? I'm Mira. Last name, Onion. I didn't know you had a daughter, Lord Loomy said to Mr. Onion. You also managed to miss that I was elected mayor of Slumpville, and instead focused on pointing out to me how lately I'd taken more cabs than usual, said Mr. Onion. And furthermore, I have 2 daughters, and I do not like coffee. Those burn marks from a malfunctioning toaster. Anyway, what were you saying, said Loomy, ignoring Mr. Onion. We were on a family trip. We stayed in bed and breakfast on the way there. My sister Jira's ex-boyfriend showed up, Mr. Diggs, who would also be staying at the hotel, she said. Was his shirt unbuttoned, or was he wearing a snood? Asked Loomy, raising an eyebrow. Neither, so we checked into the hotel. We were given 2 rooms, one for Mum and Dad and one for 2 of us. In the dead of night I heard a whistle. A whistle? Asked Loomy. Could this perhaps be the summoning of some ghastly poisonous creature to your room? No, it was a slide whistle. I told Jira to cut it out and we all went to bed as usual. The next morning I'd learned the man that checked in had died, right in his hotel room, stabbed to death. It was locked, so they used a master key to get in. And get this, the hand that would key... His hand was the key to me and Jira's room, as well as his own room. So how could his door have been locked if he only had 1 key? And there's something else you should know. The nail of the index finger on his left hand was cut off. Finally, the mystery part. There more to it? Well, what follows is their investigation, but if you think you've solved it all, the clues are there. Excuse me? He proceeded to start hitting himself. Detective Slakes crouched on the floor and began muttering. One odd way to go about it. As for me, I attempted to figure out the mystery without hitting myself or crouching on the floor, thank you very much. Did I ask why you're hitting yourself? Sometimes I need a quick boost of brain power. All pain runs through the brain. By sucking myself in the face repeatedly, I'm activating my defensive triggers that will increase pain tolerance and awareness of my surroundings and situation in the event of an oncoming attack. When I need to rapidly increase my awareness in general, this works in a pinch. I should try pinching myself too. Great. Slake stood up. There was something different about him. Was he smiling? Wonderful to meet all of you. Snakes doesn't usually meet his friends. We're not exactly friends yet. May I not be your friend? I may not be your friend, but you're my friend. I'm friends with everyone. We all have more in common than you think. 99.9% of our DNA is alike, after all. You also say 99% of your DNA with Charles Manson. Is he your friend? Of course he is. Nobody deserves to be judged for their mistakes. That's very accepting of you. I know it must seem shocking, but I'm the polar opposite of Snakes after all. He calls me Mastermind, like Sakals. I'm a bit too stupid to be called Mastermind now. Just Sakals will do. So what am I here to do? Do you just want me to meet his friends? No, I think you're here to solve this fictional... I think you're here to solve this fictional mystery. Alright, loud loudsy or something, right? I always brings me out to solve mysteries for his... Wait, how come? He can't solve it himself? Oh, no, of course not. Slakes is terrible at solving mysteries. But he's great at coming up with crimes. I have the opposite problem. So I solve the mysteries and he create my crimes. Cops don't tell anybody that. Full disclaimer, I'm completely innocent in all crimes. I did believe him, but he seemed a little dangerous, so I kept quiet. Okay. Weird interpretation of DID here. Not sure how I'm feeling about that. Weird DID thing happening here that I'm not entirely sure I like. But we will persist. As this is a Japanese game, and they're not known for being the best about dissociative identity disorder. Okay, my brain's fully charged now. Let's solve this case. First thing I think I should make clear is, Jira is the killer. With that, everything else falls into place. Hardly. Just imagine a crime scene, Nell. It's really quite simple. I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of high-ranking detectives, so I did my best to imagine. Was there anything found on the bed? The bed was found undisturbed. The door was locked from the inside. Yeah. Was he stabbed? Yes, that's correct. Is Mira wrong about that? No, she's correct. Their investigation does find that the victim was stabbed. Okay. And the key was found on the victim? That's right. I think the key to the mystery is the missing nail. You're on the right track there. Looking at the missing nail, and thinking about why we knew I'm thinking about what we knew about this fictional mystery. I thought I knew the answer. The solution to the locked room? Oh, I figured it out. That's cool. Yeah, what have you figured out? The literal key to the mystery is the nail. The nail is the key. Yeah, we know it's the key to the mystery. Oh, I get it. Nail was sticking off and cut into the shape of a key. That's very smart, Nell. Thanks. Yeah, nice one, Nell. I was almost there. I agree. I became a 9, you know. You seem like a very promising detective. I wasn't completely sure if I should accept the praise of a dangerous criminal, but I decided I'd take it wherever I could get it. Yeah, I thought that was probably the case as well, because it's weird. They're all weirdos. So I thought the answer's probably going to be the most weird thing, and the most weird thing would be that he used his nail as the key. You solved the mystery. Good job. Excuse me for a moment. Pressed a button on his headset. The detectives here and their price for winning the game wise, I promise to get a chance to speak with you. He nodded and held out the headset. Be quick. Any one of you can say something. We all glanced at each other. How about me? No, you're not a detective. It's me. That's why we're here. You promised that we'd all get to talk to the Game Master, Haney. I got you here. That doesn't mean you should be the one to do it. Neutral parties are better than any of us could be. We shall ask Nella to do it. Then she will relay our questions. Great idea. Me? But I haven't figured out what to say. Clock's ticking. Fine, have Nell do it. I just took the headset. What would the mysterious runner of the contest, omnipresent Game Master, sound like? The headset was filled with white noise. I winced and reflectively threw the headset to the ground. Your connection has been terminated. Guess that's it, I guess. Slikes, is that you? Yeah, it's me. Looks like you really screwed up. It's all Nell's fault. Why don't you wait for me to come back? No, boo, bring back Sakals. Yeah, I know. Only polling indicates nobody likes poor old Slikes. Stop calling yourself that. Nobody pities you. I think you should all leave as quickly as possible. Sounds like the Game Master's mad at you. So we did. Okay, I think we're going to do this chapter and then call it a day. That makes most sense to me, is finish this chapter, however long this chapter is going to be, and then go to the next one. Chapter 19, Double Murder in the Dark. The detectives have lost a chance to speak to the mysterious runner of the detective competition, the Game Master. What new plan will enable them to find out more about the contest? After leaving the Voice Master's room, the sting of defeat in the air was palpable. Haney cleared her throat. Didn't hurt to try. It was pointless. Didn't get anything out of it. We learned useful information, far from a waste of time. There's a call center of people pretending to be a Game Master. Who cares? That doesn't help us. We still didn't get a question the Game Master. Slikes. If you want to talk about what doesn't help us, you'd be the first item on my list. Oh yeah, well. Does anyone want to hear a joke? Worst timing ever. Here's a joke. Ethel and Mrs. Comfort arguing over a banana. What are these names for? They part of the joke? They're an inside joke. May I continue with the one on the outside? Yeah, go on. Mr. Comfort wants a banana because it's the only thing he knows. Ethel wants a banana because she understands the ridiculousness of it. What? While they're arguing, a monkey conforming to widely accepted tropes grabs the banana and runs away. Alright, what's the punchline? Ethel and Mr. Comfort were sitting under a banana tree. Huh? Oh, I get it. Yeah, but you get the moral of the joke. Morals are to jokes what mold is to food. After that, 777 didn't talk for the rest of the trip to the lobby. When we arrived, we found the detectives gathered around a paper sign pasted to a sandwich board. He's telling them... See, this is why 777 can be an annoying little shit, but he's the smartest person here. Because he knows that while they're arguing over what they did and didn't get, they could be learning more information here, where they are currently. I think he's noticed a bunch of stuff that none of the others have, but he's just too silly to tell them the answers. When we arrived, we found the detectives gathered around a paper sign pasted to a sandwich board. Fortunately, the crowd was sparse enough to get a good look at it. The sign read, "Rest in peace, 9888 6589. This is stupid. Makes you say that? It's a cipher. It's stale. It's boring. It's stupid. So what's so stale about it? There are people who make a living decoding these things, you know. I know. The whole concept of a code cipher is incredibly boring. Mystery is always changing. There are misdirections, false paths, brilliant deductions, crimes on crimes, and crimes within crimes. Cipher is like a lazy mystery. There's only one solution. It's also not clever. You just have to know the code to solve it. It's not always true. Sometimes there are codes on codes and codes within codes. I was trying not to sound like I was personally invested in the reputation of ciphers, but Slakes was ticking me off a little with his pretentious attitude. Sometimes you don't know the code. You have to use all sorts of different codes to find the answer. The only books where you find ciphers are books that aren't creative enough to invent mysteries. He didn't seem to want to change his mind, so I dropped it. Is it just me, or is everyone I've met here extremely weird? We're detectives. It's practically in the job description. Only a weirdo would assess our details, fill out mountains of tedious paperwork, testify in court, and look at dead people for a living. He had a point. Now help me out of this cage. I'm trapped. I ignored his antics and peered at the cipher. Slakes stepped over the cipher. Rest in peace, R.I.P. Looked at the hand room, making eye contact with everyone. They just looked uncomfortable. Someone died. Shut up, it's not the right answer. Clearly you have to do this. He ripped the sign off. Where the previous sign had been placed, there was another behind it. This one read, "Congratulations." See, I was right. It's a detective competition, not a cryptologist one. But in a way, didn't you solve the cipher? He just grunted. Like Kenny said last round, the other detectives have a greater need to solve the pre-round teasers than we do. Admittedly, they're bad at them. Nonetheless, you're a jerk. His intimidating gab was minimized at the fact he was shorter. Get used to it. People don't like me and I don't like them. That's how the world works. My world works differently. I always take breaks for lunch at an appropriate time and get promotions frequently. That's why I've decided to trust you. Oh really? How come? There are two kinds of jerks, people who admit they are and people who don't, and I like honesty, even if it's tactless. Tactless honesty is the only kind there is. But whatever, do what you will, trust who you like. Your weirdness is only paper thin, so I doubt you'll stick around me much longer. 777 looked incredibly hurt. Ouch. Has anyone solved the cipher yet? Oh, never mind, this message isn't live, it's triggered when someone wins. Well done. You knew what to do. Head back to your hotel rooms for the third round. As we walked up the stairs to our floor, I noticed 777 wasn't hopping them, as he normally did. Should we solve this in the dark? Maybe Reggie Light doesn't need the help. Were you offended? By what? When Slake said your weirdness was only paper thin. Yeah, I was. It's very offensive. You know, most people don't want to be weird. What's the first thing you thought of when you met me? I found you profoundly irritating. See, as part of my... I mean, the dancing, the demands, the terrible and funny jokes, the smell of clown makeup, all of this clown makeup, that's on everything now. Yes, I get it. You're wearing a jumpsuit? What is that? It's a fashion disaster. Why do you keep things in your sleeves? Haven't you heard of pockets? What? I like pockets. Have you seen the insides of my sleeves? They're full of pockets. And yes, clown makeup smells horrible. This is true, grease paint does smell bad. Grease paint smells bad. Grease paint smells so bad. I worked as a special effects artist for a while. For a couple of years. When I was a teenager. As like a summer job. I say summer job, but it was in fucking Halloween. Halloween job, I worked as a special effects artist for a haunted house. For a couple of years. And that paint, the special effects latex and the paint smells so fucking bad while they're wet. They smell so bad while they're wet. It's crazy. But you know what? My parents gave me a bottle of it for good luck in the contest, so it was sentimental value. I thought your parents were dead. 777 turned to me with a serious look on his face. Where did you hear that? When you said my parents were clowns, It's past tense, so. Yeah, they're retired. It's a job, you know. Whoops. I like how Nell just assumed that his parents were dead because they're no longer clowns. As if it is not, in fact, a job and not a lifestyle. Although it can be a lifestyle to some people. Hashtag clown life. We reached the doors at this point. 777 turned to face me, up in his mouth, and closed it without saying anything. Slakes appeared out of nowhere with his partner, Asper. You told me to help you guys out. Well, Ladylight's honours and our rooms have been darkened. They can't see on the cameras in there. What's this suggest to you? The week before teamed him up to take on the top two. You mean... Wait, that's cheating. He's desperate to talk to the Game Master. Somehow any means will do. So here goes. We work together in the dark, we'll solve it 2 times as quickly, and they won't suspect a team-up. They'll give us more time to explore this place. And find the real Game Master's room. We should discuss it with Raoul. She can tell when someone's lying, right? Certainly as good as a regular heart detector. So she's not that great at it, to tell the truth. Good to know. How's this gonna work? If you thought to check the side table drawer, you'd have seen there's a spare earpiece for each of us. He handed one to me. It'll work like this. I'll take 7-7's spare earpiece. You'll take mine. Nell, you take Asper's. Hey there, Asper will take Nell's. Okay. We should hurry then. Yes. Grab the spares from your side tables and pass them out to us in the hall. I should have been more nervous about cheating. But Slakes was a very high-ranking detective. And if he was okay with risking his position in the contest, I had no excuse. Alright, I'll do it. Yeah, okay. He's probably still sore about Slakes' comment. I hurried into my room and grabbed the spare earpiece. Thanks. Door shut behind me. It's locked. Welcome to the 3rd round of the 2nd stage. This mission is called Buy 1 corpse, get 1 free. Hello, 777. No, it's Nell. Oh, great. For some reason I didn't realise if I got 7-7 spare, I'd be speaking to you. Why wouldn't you want to speak to me? On second thought, you're far less annoying. Well, thanks. Please look for the case file and the crime summary, as always. Mr. Cheats and Mrs. Madison were both found dead in a hotel room. They were supposed to meet here at 6 p.m. The crime suspect is Mr. Cheats' wife, Mrs. Cheats. The room was locked from the inside when the crime was discovered. You do not have the autopsy report. Why did Mrs. Cheats kill Mr. Cheats and Mrs. Madison? And the suspects filed for who the dastardly culprits would likely were. Hope you're not talking about me. Oh, hello, Seckles. Silence, we know minefield. Toya likes to turn their victims into living weapons. 1 death is not enough for her violent tastes. Jax uses many small incisions to kill his victims slowly. Your time starts now. Little did the Game Master realise. I had a master detective helping me this time. Miss Madison. Miss Madison's by the window. She's clutching her throat. Same. Mr. Cheats has a knife in his chest. He's sitting on a chair. He's stitching on his stomach. Same here. Not for me. 777's is different. No knife and he's covered in tiny scratch marks. Did Mr. Cheats have tiny scratch? Does his Mr. Cheats has tiny scratch marks? That points to Mastermind Jax, of course. Oh, of course. This knife. Mr. Cheats already has stitches in his stomach. The knife is stabbed into his chest. Very unusual. Some headstand is required. I know the methods. Other method, so to speak. The knife was bloody but otherwise normal. Didn't seem like there was anything here. Oh well. You win some, you completely fail at some. We investigated all there was to investigate. Now, to make sense of it all. 2 victims this time. Interesting. We need to solve this very, very quickly now. No time for pointless tangents. So stop wasting my time then. Relax, everybody. Now, I have a special assignment for you, yeah? Is the murder weapon in this case the same for both victims? Miss Cheats has clearly been stabbed with a knife, and Miss Madison was blue and clutching her throat. The answer was obvious. No. Obviously not. Mrs. Sheets was most likely killed with the knife, but Miss Madison is killed by something else. Pretty good now. So what was she killed by? She was killed by... Well, she was the colour blue, which the Game Master used to indicate. Poison? But we didn't find any signs of poison in the room. That's true. Now, tell Sakal to fill Mr. Cheat's stomach. Why don't I just fill Mr. Cheat's stomach? I'm not a telegraph operator for you and Sakal's. Very dated now. I might feel Mr. Cheat's stomach. Something inside it. No? After feeling around myself, the stitching of the stomach was undone. What's this? I believe it's a gas bomb. The plot thickens. A gas bomb? Wait. That's how Mrs. Madison was poisoned? I think you got it now. Miss Madison was poisoned with a gas bomb that was placed inside Mr. Cheat's stomach. What's going on? We've basically solved the mystery. Oh, that Mr. Cheat's bomb inside Mrs. Cheat's to kill Miss Madison? Yeah. Made it sound like it was really easy to figure out. But we have a problem, right? Take a look at the suspect's file. Okay. Huh? It's unclear whether the Mastermind Toyo, Mastermind Silence, or Mastermind Minefield were responsible for the bomb. They're all good candidates. They all seem like good candidates at first, but look at their records. Now, which of the three do you think did it? Toya. Look, her buyer even says she prefers 2 deaths to 1. Just like this case. I think Toya is a red herring. Mr. Cheese was turned into a weapon. The weapon was put inside him. Pretty poor detective work now. Don't take that seriously, that was a joke. But you were wrong. Made sense, but why'd they have to dash my brains out and my brains and my hopes out on a rock? Minefield? Well, the other buyers are tempting. This case is ultimately about a trap created with an explosive device. Great job, Mel. Amazing. Is there anything we haven't covered then? As I said, Mrs. Cheese is covered in tiny scratches on my end. That's obviously Jack's. Is Asper also covered in little scratches? Yeah. Well, there's only one criminal it could be. I think we're ready to mark the correct ones. Minefield and Jack's. Good job. But that ain't on my end as well. Really speaks to the process up to have extra 2 brains. Yeah. Oh, right, the bonus question. Right. Why did Mr. Cheats kill Mrs. Cheats? Why did Mrs. Cheats kill Mr. Cheats and Miss Middleton? Well, obviously because he was cheating on her, right? Because he was cheating? Suddenly it dawned on me that showing what happened to people who cheated could be a message from the Game Master. Pretty sinister message. Correct. Your score on this mystery is 100%. Your answer to the bonus question was acceptable. But you, Detective 778, Detective Slakes, and Detective Asper are disqualified this round for cheating. Pairing up with another detective is not allowed. Please enter the elevator. Everyone looked as grave as we stepped out of our hotel rooms, except Asper. He looked really cheerful. He was probably the kind of guy who was always cheerful. The elevator dinged open and we stepped in. How did the Game Master find out we paired up? The lights were off. Did someone rat us out? Did Slake speak up at one point deliberately to clue the Game Master in? Did he tell the Game Master that this was going to happen? What was this? Was I out of the contest? I could barely see the small smile on 778's face. It was totally him. Because he thinks if you cheat, you're going to meet the Game Master, right? Chapter 20 is a good place to end for tonight. So let's save, and we'll save again. Nice! That was good. This story is interesting so far. So far, I'm enjoying 7-7 Blank's character at the moment. I like that he's actually smarter than everyone else. But the only reason he's actually failing at stuff is because he's too silly about it. Like, I think he's figured all this shit out already. I think he knows everything. But I think the thing is that he's having fun with it, so nobody else understands him. No one gets him like I do. Hashtag no one gets him like I do. And then Slakes is fun. Slakes is fun, other than the weird DID thing. It's not the best depiction of DID I've ever seen. Everyone else is fun so far, though. There's a lot of characters already, and there's going to be 200 by the time we finish. Foof. Foof, there's going to be 200 characters for me to keep up with by the time we finish. To be fair, I think most of those characters are going to exit my brain sphere by the time we get to new ones. So who are we going to raid today? Who are we going to raid today? Who doing stuff? Let's raid Hydra, because he's only just started stream. And he's playing that zombie detection game that looks like fun. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming in. I've been Pigeon Wishes, your resident Pigeon Fae from the UK. I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a good night. Ta-ra!